We're back. Well, I'm back. So yesterday, I'll just bring up ZBrush pretty far. Mostly working on the head for the tiger. If you haven't seen this before, I'm working on this concept by a guy, an artist on ArtStation called MZM. So let's see. I'll just close this. So we got this. This is the concept I'm working on at the moment. I'm just doing the face. Had to retopologize it several times, so I'm working in ZBrush to do the sculpt, and hopefully I'll be able to finish the head and then start working on some other bits. Let's see. So load the tool. Oh, first I'll load the starting project. Actually, do I need that? Probably not. Just I'll start with a new one. Actually, I just click. Yeah, I'm not even sure how to clear the scene properly. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so load the latest version. Let's see what we got here. Yep. So I just drag it all in. Oh, there we go. For some reason, some of the draw it in and then edit. There we go. I don't know what's going on with the materials, because I haven't assigned anything yet. So probably grab the head and then just fill that. Grab the body and do the same. A couple copies of it. Doesn't matter. Beard. Alright, so yesterday I was working on the tufts on the head, and I had to cut them off essentially because they were not working at all. So what I'm going to do is actually model them as a separate object, which should be alright. I think it crashed as well, that's why this is called recovered tool. Which is alright. Luckily ZBrush God smiled upon me and had a recovery file for me. So I'm gonna bring in the texture. I've got a close up of his head that I can use, so that I can kind of keep track of what's going on. There we go. Alright, so he's not perfect yet. They can change the eyes as well to be a round pupil instead of this sort of cat's eye. I don't know why, I just feel like it doesn't quite look right. So, you know, fill object, then maybe sample eye color. This is very dark. Alright, that just disappeared for no reason. There we go. It's quite framey. I don't have anything else running in the background, so hopefully it's not a big deal. So, no, fill the wrong color. Okay, let's try this again. Fill object. Grab a dark color. Use the hard brush. I keep undoing reflexively, so that's my fault. I've got it selected. Painting's not working at all. RGB intensity's on. RGB's on. Looks like it's changing the texture. for some bizarre reason. Okay, set it to mRGB, and then set the material to the reflecting one, and to the color. That's symmetry. That should be fine. There we go. I don't know why it was doing that. It's really not working. Oh, I know. It's my fault. So by default, when you load something in the Spotlight tool, you get this thing called Spotlight Projection, which is used to stamp textures from your Spotlight objects onto the model. So you get this problem. Alright, so it's pretty bit big. Looks cool though. I think the round people just looks nicer. Doesn't necessarily have to be like... Yeah, I mean that could be alright. Could be even slightly bigger. Cats, yeah, their eyes can be kind of round, and then they can also narrow to a slit depending on the lighting conditions. Alright, for some reason it... Alright, so I think I didn't have the mRGB thing tagged before, so when I was filling, I wasn't filling the material as well. So Z modeling clay, fill, use white. Yeah, that fixes it. So there's always this patch on the right where I've cut off a big chunk of the model just so I can kind of fix it, and that's fine. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new kind of sideburn object that's going to just stick on the outside, and that's going to replace what I had before. If you look at one of the previous videos, I had modeled each of these kind of chunks of fur as a separate object, and then I tried to combine them all together, and it just didn't seem to work for me. So what we'll probably do is I'll make one big tool, like subtool polygroup thing, shape out the general concept, split it off into a separate subtool, and then maybe add a couple of chunks as separate objects, and then once I get the right thing, I'll combine it, and then I'll try and work with that. As you can see on its face, it's this very specific kind of crown shape that makes up the fur. It attaches to the front of his face. Is whatever you want to call it, like the muzzle. And I'm still trying to figure out how that's actually going to look, because it's quite tricky. And then once I've got that sorted out, I might paint this, and then I'll start doing the body and do the armor, and I'll switch out the texture as well. So the easiest way to do this, I think, it'd be to grab a multi-mesh object, grab something fairly with fairly high resolution. That's pretty high res. And then just like pull it out. And then use the widgets. I think turn off dynamic, because that's just slowing it down. To go from the top and just sort of put it in there. Now it's not the right shape right now, but what I can do is I can switch to the transpose tool. I can use that to kind of skew it and bend it. So like if I do like this, what you can do is you hold down Alt and just like do this kind of bendy stretchy thing. Go back to the regular tool, just kind of fudge it around. So what I'm looking for is just the general form of this shape. I don't actually need it to be 100% right at the moment. Just enough so that when I start shaping it, I've got like the general thing going. So it's interesting because the way this works. Let's switch to the pen. It's like it follows the contour of the face all the way from here. That's where it's like I find somewhat tricky. So you look at it from the side and you see this thing that just comes up along all the way along here, and it goes all the way up to the back, and it probably disappears like at this point somewhere. So it just like goes in there, and it's like it fans out as well. It's like thin to begin with, flares out, and so it's actually a really complicated shape. And it's got details as well, so all these little details. Can't see it from beneath, but I can kind of guess what it looks like. And it definitely feels like it has bits where it connects, and it kind of looks like I don't know what you want to call it, but it tapers in kind of a very specific way. So really, this is where I've been struggling the most. I did have some issues with the mouth, but yeah, it wasn't as bad as this bit. So now, if I just block in the general shape, I think I could probably do a better job than I was last time. And I will like have to retopologize this to get more detail, and because it's quite stretched out. Probably use deflate in some of these areas to get the underside. And then maybe like polish, flatten it out. Pull it in. So this might not even be joined up at any point. Whoops, I think I forgot to do symmetry. Alright, so in this case, what I can do is I can mirror and then use an option called mirror and weld, and it'll mirror the left to the right. And then I turn on activate mirroring, and then it'll just be all good again. And then what I might do as well is separate this out into a separate thing. So that way I can work on it without and then retopologize and subdivide and stuff. So just so let's see, I want to split unmasked points. So now it's in its own subtool, and yeah. What I might do as well is just, I think, whoops, that was kind of funny. Move this up a little bit actually, because it does sit pretty high on the face. And actually it is pretty close to his cheeks as well. And I want this to stand out compared to his face, so I'm going to use a darker shade for his head, like maybe even darker than that, just so that when I'm working on this these sideburns, whatever you want to call them, that I can easily distinguish where they are. So they're getting a little bit better. It's like concave here, and it's very thin, so you gotta like try and thin it out, and then it'll come up around the sides, gets higher up, probably thicker as well. just like smooth that out, and then maybe use pinch on a negative setting, and what that'll do is that'll like create like a kind of sharp edge, so that when it tapers out it doesn't look too bad. So this is probably how I should have handled it in the first place, but because I haven't really done anything like this before, it wasn't really clear to me. And this thing goes up and down as well, like it has kind of ebbs and flows. Still not super happy with the shape, but it's getting there. Just putting it together. So that's just like the very, very basic blockout shape. So what I'll do now is I'll Z-remesh this thing so that it's got more detail. I'm not sure how big it'll need to be, so I'll set the target count to 5,000 initially. I actually think that might be too much for now. I want to keep like the detail, keep it low res until I've got the shape. Yeah, that'll be alright. Until I've got the general shape that I want. I don't want to just like immediately go for high res, because that's going to make it a bit more difficult to work with. And it's going to end up with a lot of details, so it's like start simple and then work my way up from there. So one of the things I think that this has is it has like a rim, and it's definitely concave. I'm just having a hard time figuring out how that should look. From here to here definitely has this like shape, and then it goes, it's like further out. Let's see, I want this to be brighter, so fill, yeah. So there's like, it comes out, it definitely comes out like around here. A little bit out here, and like a little bit out here. And this is where it's tricky, right? Because like pulling out these bits doesn't really give you the exact shape that you want. So it's like, how do you get that exact shape? And I don't really know 100% how I'm going to do it. I'm just working low detail till I can figure it out. But you know, we'll get there eventually, I think. It's just one of those things. I think this is already better than it was. It was just a mess before. So you know, I can use the snake hook to kind of get some of this stuff. And you know, there's like this bit here, then this bit. So that's like, there's probably like one more as well. Maybe here. That's like the basic details. And there's maybe like another one over here. Just want to make sure I get these in line. They all kind of flow in the same direction, and they don't do anything in particular that's special. It's just that they look like a hard cut because it's fur. It's like stylized fur. The other thing that is in here is you get these like bits that ride up into his face, like around the cheek. So that's, you want to have that too. There's a bit that goes like here as well. Alright, so we've got that. Now I've stretched it a fair bit, so what I might do is I'll re-Z-mesh that, which will kind of smooth it out a little bit. I'm not too worried about that. Use like a smaller snake hook and just like work in some of those details. I think, judging by the picture, the side of the mouth kind of, this is where it blends in, because it becomes part of his thing, part of his muzzle, or whatever you want to call it. And I think, yeah, it's like, it's fairly thin around here. And then it kind of gets thicker as it gets along. You know. No, Teely, stop it. Sorry, my dog's just trying to jump on me. Come on, that's it, that's enough. It's very cute, but not very productive. I want this, the one in the back, to like merge in as well. So it's gotta go in like that. Hey, got 2 viewers. That's cool. Don't be shy. If you want to ask me any questions or leave any feedback. Alright, so this is like, it's basically what you want. It's not that detailed though. So there's a few things I can do, because these are kind of pointy. And one of the things I can keep snake hooking it to try and pull the detail out. I just have to be careful with that, because I don't want to make it look like a bunch of tentacles, or like little like low detail, or too round. And I haven't quite, mastered that yet. So, just one of those things. So I know one of the things that would probably help, and I'm going to save this now, just so I've got a point where I can go back to in case I mess it up, and I probably will. So there's 2 things I can do here. So one is I can try to, if I make this dynamic or dynamic, and see what it looks like. And pinching's probably the easiest way to kind of give it that sharp look, that sharp relief. So if I go like this, it doesn't give me the overlap though, which I would have got from making this out of separate objects. I did try that, and unfortunately it didn't really work well last time. But that's probably just because I didn't do it right. And it really depends, like how sharp do I want this? How detailed do I want this? And I think it doesn't need to be super sharp and detailed, because the artwork's fairly soft. So it's not going to affect it too much. But yeah, it's definitely a tricky effect to get right. So I'm going to use the negative pinch on the sides here, which gives me a sharp look, looking from certain angles. This is already looking way better than what I had before. And then what I might do is then use a regular pinch on when I get to these inside bits. Oh, cool. Well, hey, Wheeze. Is it Weasley? Yeah. Well, what are you kind of doing? Like, you said you're just starting out. So, what sort of stuff are you trying to model? So I'm kind of just like I've done modeling for a fair bit, but I'm kind of starting out in the sense that I haven't used ZBrush very much, and I've just started a course, like a workshop on it. Let's see, so put one here. I don't think I have enough detail to do what I'm trying to do, so I'm going to leave that for a little bit. But I do want to pull up some of this detail here. So like one there, like that, and then like that. Could probably just like not muck around with it too much. Looking at your referencing is quite the plane change from the main to the bottom. Yeah, you're probably right. It could probably be like flatter on the bottom. Well, yeah, I am trying to follow the reference. I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah. From the top to the bottom, it's like it changes direction. I wonder if I can fill that in a bit to try and get what I want. Like, I'm not gonna try and do it 100% the same as the reference, but I will try and get it to be fairly true to it if I can. I could probably use like, again, I am new to ZBrush, so some of this, there might be techniques that I'm not aware of that are like way better for this. I'm trying to use polish, but for some reason polish is not really working for me. This is polish 3, I guess that's that version of polish. Because that would actually help if I want it to be kind of flat on the bottom. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's getting closer. Yeah, well, thanks for that. Yeah, I think that was a good idea. Import with Steam Workshop, maybe anything. I'm trying Blender right now, and I'm not quite comfortable with the shortcuts, but I have the ideas. Hey, Corner. The goal with a lot of character modeling is to recreate the appeal of the character, not so much every detail. Sometimes 2D doesn't translate well. You know what? I've found that out the hard way sometimes. When I first started modeling this guy, he looked like a bear. And so I started looking at real tigers, and so I could see it from the side. And it's like I had the mouth and the nose completely wrong. Small sized Orbs Extreme Polish. What's Orbs Extreme Polish? Is that like one of these in here? So many brushes. Extreme Polish. It's extreme. Anyway, I reckon that's alright for now. I'll come back to that later. But I reckon I got like the form right. And it's way better than what I had before, which was just like these noodly bits. It was really bugging me. And what I might do as well is with the beard, I'm gonna make that non-symmetric because I don't think it needs to be. So like in the concept, it's like it waves a bit. It's like not 100% one way or the other. And then I'll probably muck around with that and use like move elastic and like go there, like that. And like retopo, create some more detail, and then like try to block in the fur. A lot of brushes don't work until you have a higher resolution though. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was looking at some brushes. Like I haven't tried alpha brushes yet, but I have seen some cool ones where it's like they have fur shapes. Like what they did is they basically used the strand tool to make a bunch of fur, and then they made an alpha mat using that, and then they turned that into a brush. And then they have like several different variations, so you can like paint in stuff. But I think you need to have really high res model for that to work. Yeah, I mean, I tried subdividing this one. I think it's like slightly too high res. It's like when I subdivided it, basically became like 1 pixels, 1 polygon. Um, anyway, that doesn't matter that much. I saw a thing though. Let's see. So I've got this beard thing. I might auto. Let's see. I'll auto groups this, and then I'll just subdivide it. Oh, maybe should I dynamesh it? Not dynamesh. Yeah, there's a bit of weird stuff going on the bottom. So I might just ZRemesh it to like something. 5's probably a bit much, but that way if I want to, I can do some cool stuff with it. No, I didn't paint that one. That was done by a guy called MZM on ArtStation. This is what it looks like. So I can do some drawing and stuff, but I don't think I'm quite good enough, and I'm trying to practice with using other people's stuff, because apparently that's what happens when you do sculpting in a job. You get like a lot of other people's work to work with, just because it's not really like you're not important enough. Anyway, that's the artist that I got this from. I did one before from the same guy, excuse me, which was his Shiba Soldier concept, and this is what I ended up with when I did the final render in Blender. So, and that was a fun project. I didn't do it. Wasn't streaming or anything. It was like my second sculpt. But it was pretty fun. But yeah, the one I'm working on now is this one, and I'm just zoomed into the face because I was working on the face, and the armor is it's gonna be interesting, because I'm not. I can do hard surface modeling in Blender, but I haven't done it well in ZBrush. Still working on that. But I'll get there eventually, I guess. I've chopped his head off as well, just so I can work on it separately. So I might actually just smooth out this this neck a bit, because it's a bit all over the place. Thanks. Yeah, I'm glad. It was really. I was really struggling yesterday. 'Cause like I said, it looked like a bear, and Corner was helping me out a lot with re-topologizing it so that it was like the eye sockets would be possible to model without a bunch of like weird lumpy edge loops. So that worked out, and then I spent ages on his like beard slash sideburn things, and it just didn't work. How do you do your clothes? Just mask and extract? Well, there's two different things. So one is yeah, extracting it from a mask, or rather I just chopped off bits of it and made it as a solid hunk. The other one was using the topology brush and drawing it on, like kind of like drawing a pattern of polygons on, and then working with that. And then there was actually a third way. Let's see. So with the Shiba stuff, I had a separate Blender project for the hard surface modeling and the shoes, because I had so much problems with the shoes. Yeah, so I'm going to try and use the topo brush to do his armor. I might start with the wrist gauntlet things, and then I'll try because I think his breastplate is actually two separate things. But yeah, like this is what I did for his stuff. Like I just modeled some stuff in Blender, and I used an OBJ to import his like original body mesh so that I could get the scale and I could fit the shoes on nicely. Yes, so I'm going to try and keep a hard surface low poly mesh for the clothing, at least to begin with, because I've watched Corner's stream, and she was doing a really good job with a bunch of different armor pieces, like on He-Man and on that crocodile mermaid, and it looked really decent. I'm going to struggle trying to work with the mesh because I don't really know the Z modeler tools that well. Yeah, I know it's probably fine. I've just got to learn. You know, I polymodel. Most of my characters, kind of bad practice, though much slower. Well, that's fine. Whatever works for you. The sculpting thing is good for organic things for me. Like, from what I can tell, if you're doing hard surface modeling in ZBrush, a lot of it's just the same, like a similar workflow to other polygon modeling tools. It's even a bit more restricted and I'd say a bit slower, because it's obviously like a secondary feature compared to the modeling. But yeah, this is the stuff I was working on, so I used the modifiers and stuff in this to make it easier as well. Like this thing, this band here, or like buckle, it actually uses like a few different things. So if you see, like I got my subdiv, and that's to smooth it out, but I also used a solidify thing, which is actually a single ribbon of polygons. Solidify like makes it solid, and then subd makes it nice and round. So and it's got like some creases in there, I think. You can set the crease somewhere, I don't know. It just works though. Yeah. So that workshop this is what's been motivating me to do a lot more work in modeling and stuff. Because I'm normally, so my standard thing that I do as a profession is I'm a game programmer. So like, I haven't mentioned this before, but might as well. So my company, like, it's just me and another guy. We made a thing called Codeer, which is like a coding tool for iPad, and I made a shader editor. We also made a shader editor called Shade for iPad, and you can make shaders on it, basically using a node-based interface. But I also want to be able to do some art, so that's why I decided to do this workshop. And it's working out pretty good so far. Like I think I've done I've done more high quality stuff than I've ever done before. With my old box modeling workflow, and that's not to say there's anything wrong with box modeling. It's just this is working far better for me than anything I've tried before. I've also done the body. I've separated them out because the body is nowhere near doesn't need to be anywhere near as high resolution as the head. Although it looks like I've made it ridiculously high resolution at some point, probably by accident. So I can probably like re-Z mesh this down to a lower res because this is ridiculous. It doesn't need this kind of detail. Yeah, I might change this to something manageable. Let's see. Target polygon count 15. We'll see what that does. It's probably trying to make the head higher resolution, and then just made the whole body. Yeah, that's probably better. Looks like there's some weird stuff going on with the neck. Is that a hole? Let's see. Viability, no. There is a fixed mesh thing. I'm just trying mesh integrity. No? Why you got a hole there? Didn't have a hole before. That's weird. It's probably something to do with the groups around the neck where it closes. Alright, well maybe I just use a different value for Z remesher and it will be nice to me. Taking its sweet time. That's better. So that seemed to fix it. I don't think that the body needs to be like enormously detailed anyway. Yeah, that looks alright. I can sculpt in the muscles more later. So what I want to do now, I'll switch references. So, let's see, bring in the other one. Let's see, boop. Like this, bring it down, over there. So what I'm working on right now is this thing, which is very helpful if I see it from both angles. It's pretty interesting looking. That's got to go on the arm. So probably from this angle, and then so this is what we were talking about before, which is the topology brush. It's a very big arm. That should be okay. So in order to do this, we'll just grab the topology brush. Here it is. I'm terrible at drawing these lines nice and cleanly, so hopefully it won't matter too much. There's two parts to it, so there's this wrist gauntlet thing, and then it's got like armor coming out the bottom. And I've noticed that a lot of the armor pieces in this, I don't know what this material is. It looks like it's either a fabric or bamboo. Given that it's a Chinese character, I reckon it's some kind of bamboo armor. Or at least some coat covering that goes over it. I could be wrong. Yeah, and then It's going to be interesting trying to make this. So with the topology brush, I'm trying to think how this is actually going to work. I mean, technically it's like a cylinder, so I could probably adjust the shape after I make it, but I just feel like that's probably going to be messy. So you can just like drag out a line and draw over the surface like that, and then connect it. So it gives me like the top half, and I'm not actually drawing out the bump. So I think that if I just add extra geometry in that area, I could probably do that bump. So it's like it comes around and then kind of goes up like that. It's like this terrible line. You go down like that. It's awful, but I can fix the shape. There's actually layered iron steel splint armor. Okay. So, well, what would you say the things in the very middle parts are made out of? Like there's this dark grey and white stuff. I mean, I'll look that up because that sounds like a useful reference. I think this goes all the way to the wrist, basically. That's helpful though, knowing what it is. At least I can do something about it. So just drawing that up. So this is gonna be the base layer of the armor. So then what you can do basically is like cross stitch this stuff in, and it makes the polygons in the intersections. For some reason that's not connected anymore. This is pretty terrible so far, but I'm hoping I can fix it. It's like I'm really out of my depth here. I mean, I think it probably needs more cross sections, but I think I can probably just make those. And then when you tap, yeah, so I feel like it's fabric of some kind, or maybe silk. I don't know. Just because of the coloring and the look of it. I've seen Japanese armor look like that, but I never really paid close attention to Chinese stuff. Yeah, so if you tap, it makes it. When you do this, it's actually coming from the inside and going like equal distance from the surface inside and out. So it's actually on both sides. So if you make the brush smaller, you can basically do that. It's pretty terrible looking at the moment, but I think I'm just going to have that as a base to work with, and then change the topology, or like build in, you know, edge loops and stuff. So what I'd probably do is like split unmasked points. So now that's on its own thing. And then I'll try like adjusting some of the points. What I like to do here is use transparency mode so that I can see through the whole thing. Mongol style are fully relied on silk and is capable of stopping arrows without metal or link armor. So it's like multiple layers, right? So it'd be like gambeson or something, like the equivalent for like medieval style armor. Yeah, like so it'd be stitched so that it has like all these layers which cushion the blow and like stop arrows and all sorts of stuff like that. Yeah, I didn't I didn't know. I thought silk was like super valuable. Just like that we use it for armor. I guess that would make sense. It's valuable. I always thought it was just for like the look of the thing. So I think about this. I probably got this a bit wrong. Like I think it goes further up. Maybe I just turn off. I got topological turned off anyway. So it goes like right up to here. The bit that this sort of bit. I'm trying to visualize how this is gonna work. But it has like symmetry as well. So I gotta try and make sure that looks alright. And then when you do this, you get this. It's round, but it's got a thickness and it's got to go over top of the. And then like when I do this, somehow I'm screwing up the thickness as well. So like pull it out again. That's why I'm not terribly good at this on ZBrush. So I'm gonna have to add some more detail. A single layer, wow. Was it like special silk or was it just like standard regular silk? Yeah, so how do you make it single-sided? I don't know. I could just delete a bunch of this stuff, and then you extrude it with a Z modeler. Yeah, if I knew about that, I would have done that straight away. I'll just delete what I'm not using, I guess. So just hide everything, but the purple bit. Okay, looks like the back and the front are the same. Let's see. How do I? That's the back-facing one. Okay. And then just doesn't make just selected one. And you delete the hidden from the chain. Alright, yeah. Oh, I can probably. There we go. And then you hide you, and then delete. That makes sense. Alright. Yeah, I'll do it the chump way. And I just make this like float on the surface and extrude it out when it's ready, I guess. Or add an extra edge loop in there. Then you can turn on double-sided, which is under the shoulder, the shader balls. Yep, thanks, that's helpful. Oops. Alright, and you won't have to add more resolution because you hit dynamic and smooth itself out. Yeah. depends like whether I want. I guess it's like, yeah, you're right. It's like probably doesn't need it. The less I can get away with, the better. It's gonna be easy to work with. Looks like it's fairly straight around the edge. Let's see. So how do I want to do this? Yeah, I don't think it. I kind of almost want to add another edge loop because I'm definitely going to need some geometry for this bit here. Maybe I even just turn off the other thing. Just like model it and then fit it. Topology, yeah, it's a cruel mistress for sure. Full of evil problems. I could probably turn his head off. Why is his head still on? His beard. And his other beard. And his nose and his eyes. I thought I'd turn that off. Now I'm just selecting it, that's all. Turn that off. Everything's a square, but yeah. Yeah, everything is a square, sort of. Just remember, if you Q-mesh to the inside, you'll have to flip the normal. Okay. Yeah, so essentially let's see how round that is. Yeah, so it's going to have a dip that goes up. Let's see, modeler. So if I grab an edge, insert single edge loop. Yeah, there we go. And then let's see. That way I can get a bit more detail here. Is this in this pipeline retopo comes later? Yeah, we're just trying to make it look good. Get the shape, and then once you've done that, then you can go to the next step. Which is looks fairly painful to me. I could be wrong, but from what I can tell, I haven't done it yet. So, you know. Let's see. That goes like that. It's kind of getting there. It's kind of annoying because it's like, it has symmetry, but the symmetry tools aren't going to be any use to modeling this thing. Something happened, someone followed me. Oh, thank you. Anything is like, his arms are so gigantic, but I think I like what I'm doing here, where it's modeling. His arms aren't as thick on my version. Because I did that, I made this forearm thicker, and it kind of just didn't look right. But then this armor will be extruded, so you know. Yeah, I know what you mean. And I guess retopo, it's like you can fix stuff that may have been bothering you before. And you know, make it a bit more clean. This is where I'm gonna have to add. So it's basically in here from up to like here. Like I have to add this extra stuff so that when I'm making this round, it's actually going to look like that. So it has a bump. So getting that bump means adding some geometry. It does mean that there's like an unnecessarily more geometry on the other side. You could potentially fix that by splitting stuff out. But that's looking alright so far. That's like pretty close to what I want. What's really going to be interesting is trying to get like all these layers and making it look nice. It should be possible. Because I'll just put in other loops on the other directions. I think it's not necessarily as extruded as this. So that's that. And then I can probably bring this up a bit because it's more straight. It's a joke with friends about Blender being vertex torture simulator. It can be. See, the difference with Blender and ZBrush, from what I can tell, is that Blender has it has what you could call a non-destructive workflow, in the sense that if you want, you can use modifiers to do certain operations to keep like the mesh from having to do like permanent changes to the mesh. You can use like extrude modifiers, you can use skin modifiers, and solidify and subdivide. Whereas any changes you make in ZBrush are almost always permanent. That's just how it works. It's like that's what ZBrush's philosophy is. It's like a painting program. It doesn't really like this. There is there is the dynamic mode, but that's just like, I don't know, the only thing it really does. That's as far as I can tell. I mean, you like nano mesh as well, I think, which is like a way of positioning lots of tiny little meshes. But yeah, I mean, a lot of their tools, once you've applied it, that's it. It's like it's done. And if you can't undo it, and like you can't just like toggle between it. Mess up, there's a way around it outside of undoing a million times. Yeah, so but you've got to like basically return it to the state it was in manually. using some combination of things, whatever that ends up being. Sometimes in non-destructive workflows, you can like it's kind of like there's some automated things you can do that you can toggle on and off. That's what I'm really kind of talking about. It's just a different philosophy, I think. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just different. Um, it can land you in some trouble sometimes, but yeah. Might save. Speaking of undoing and stuff, I'll save this. Probably don't need all those revisions. I can just get rid of them, but I just keep saving. The kind of person who's playing like a single player game, I'll just like save a million times and like never go back to them. Just like I like having the save. Let's see. So now I can do this, I think. Or should I? Should I do that? Maybe I should extrude it first. So how do you, like you can extrude with the Z modeler, right? Like how does that work? Let's see. Oh, so Q mesh is what you're talking about, right? Slide, spin, split, stitch, swivel. I'm not seeing an. Oh wait, maybe I gotta select that. Target, single poly, all polygons. You polygroup all. Okay. One side poly, multiple side. RST is default. Align 10th step. Yeah, I just put numbers after it. Modifiers, weak attraction. Oh, I see. So Q mesh is the extrude. It is the extrude. Maybe I should. Oh, before I do this, what I might do is LSIM. Just be like. Like deflate it till it's like there. Yeah, I mean that's fine. And then I might just adjust this a little bit. I don't think this thing is actually that tall in this concept. Yeah, that'll do. Alright, so then I go to Z modeler. Pretty thick. Yeah, and there'll need to be some room for that, like, crazy thing to come out the bottom. Alright, I'll be back in a sec. Alright. Sorry about that. Fire just went out. I had to go get it going. Alright, so I gotta do like a couple more layers, the top and the bottom, which I assume I can do with a couple more extrudes. Let's see, so Z modeler, let's see if we insert edge loop on there. So you put one layer, the layer there, so that's going to be 2 layers. Let's see, what else can I do? Is there an edge slide? Let's see. Move. Doesn't look like there's an edge slide. I can just move these like using a small brush. Oops. Don't want to smooth that much. Got a tiny, tiny little brush. Okay, that's a little bit lumpy. Kind of looking alright. Let's see if it's dynamic. So I want to make sure that these edge loops look good. It's only on the outside as well, so I can still muck around with it, I guess. Let's see, so what I probably want to do, polygroup, polyloop. Oh yeah, that works. Your schedule says you only stream like 2 days a week. I keep missing your streams actually. I did get up really early for the Wednesday stream. But then I was too tired, so I went back to sleep. Let's see. Okay, so use oops. There we go. Let's see. Like Actually started almost on time today. I was an hour late and then bro came home and said, "You want chicken?" But I couldn't get chicken unless I left the house, so I had to end my stream. Oh, and I never turned down chicken. Yeah, I'm going to get started on a new model soon too. Yeah, I can't wait to see that one. That's going to be awesome. Alright, so now I want to insert another edge loop. Berg. Let's see, insert edge loop. And then, what am I doing? Alright, then I'm going to use like the Q mesh thing. Yeah, that should do it. Dynamic. So what I want to do now is do some creases. Crease, edge loop, complete. Oh yeah, that was easy. Yeah. Now I can uncrease that. Crease. Then when I dynamic, hey, that's not looking too bad. Might be a bit thick. You know. All right. Well, thanks for coming in and checking it out. And I'll see you later if you manage to make it back. I'm not sure how long I'll be going for, but I'll be here for a little while. So that's his gauntlet thing. I might have done the initial Q mesh thing a bit too thick. What's this thing? Oh yeah, that makes sense because I was doing it from there. I wonder if I can delete edge loops. Let's see. Topology. Mask, move, extrude. Oh, delete. Yes, I can. Ah. Technically, I can select the inner thing. That's a bit better. It's not as thick. Then maybe take the whole thing and scale it down. Fancy. Make that like that. maybe stretch it out a bit. Zoop. It's looking not too bad. Dynamic. Well, I mean, that wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. It's a bit deformed. Okay. So I also have to have like these little studs. It's got like, by the looks of it, I mean, I can only see 4 on the front, but be symmetrical, it would have like a couple on both sides. Maybe I make these little, whatever they are, little badge things. And I should also do the square thing that comes out, which I could probably do with a cube, I guess. Let's see what we got. Maybe it's like a cube. Boop. Actually, if I did a cube whoops, didn't want to do that. Cube split. And it has separate faces. Oh no, it's just been split once. What I want to do is get a cube and just like only show one face. Let's see. Group by normal. I mean, it's a separate subtool. Split hidden, maybe? Oh no, split unmasked points. And then group by normal. That'll do. Hello, Jar. How's it going? I'm just working on the armor now. So I've got one of his, kind of working on this gauntlet thing that he's got. It's getting there. Just learning more about how to do some ZBrush style topology jiggy. Oh wow, that's weird. So I learned about Q brushes, whatever that is. So So what I want to do now probably is go to the Z modeler. Let's delete edge loop, which I don't want. I want insert edge loop. Non-symmetrical operation. Okay. Oh, for some reason it's not symmetrical. Must have screwed it up at some point. Yeah, that's an easy fix. Just mirror, then mirror and weld. Just passing by to see how it's going. Gotta go to bed. Alright, well, thanks for dropping by. I'll see you later. No worries. Yeah, I don't know how people manage to get like super duper huge number of viewers. I'm surprised I'm getting any, to be honest. Like, I'm surprised people are just randomly turning up. Not sure if it's probably a matter of like having. Yeah, it takes time. It's my third stream, so it makes sense. Yeah, that's not bad. Like I got it. Like the guy came in before Fatler or Tim. He he's been doing it for a while. Probably currently he's been doing it for over a month, but he still hasn't managed to get enough viewers to make affiliate yet. Yeah, I mean, geez, that's a long time, hey. So it's not something that happens overnight for sure. Yeah, he needs to. That's why it says 0. Um, you know what? That's probably a good idea. I'm gonna add a view. Do 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 do. There we go. And that way, folks know. Just mute it, that way folks know you're listening. I'll let him know. I'll tell him he should do that. Then that way it'll like count at least for one. Because it'd be kind of suck to have like average viewer of 2 and then not get the affiliate thing. Yeah, because I tried talking to him once, so I had like 15. I'll let him know, because he responds well to feedback. I think he's probably just like he's playing an action game, well, action RPG thing, so maybe he just doesn't see it. I think he's using. I'm not. I've been looking at the comments in Streamlabs. That seems to be like the easiest way for me, anyway. Because it just has everything there. It's got my audio. It's got my like. Tells me who's been following me and stuff. So that's handy. And yeah, so I followed your advice and I've just put. See, I've got the stream running in another window, but it's not counting as a view. Do you have to have it like literally visible? Oh no, it is counting. It's just that Streamlabs didn't update its count, but it does update in Twitch, so it's there. I think for this thing, this might do with another. What I'll do is I'll just like move this, move edge, and then I'll insert another edge loop. Whoops. What am I doing? Inset. I keep getting those mixed up. Inset and insert. Oh, I see. Alright, well, yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. I never thought of it that way, but that makes a lot of sense. Alright, then I'll, let's see, the model. So I want to just QMesh, no, not edge actions, polyloop, polygroup all. Something like that. And then I think I might also be able to inset all polygons island. Is that it? No, that's not what we want. Front face all polygroup inner. Oops. Region. That's interesting. It insets the region, but it deleted the geometry. There we go. Then I think, let's see, can you polygroup border. This is handy. Probably crease that. Let's see what's the dynamic that. undo that crease. How do I do that? I kind of want it to be round, but not that round. Can you partially crease stuff? Like, you know, half crease? Well, what I was thinking is like when I subdivide this, you get this. It goes all round, and what I want is I don't want a perfectly sharp corner here. I want like a slightly round corner. I might just have to add extra loops. But the way it's set up at the moment is I'm gonna have to change the way the topology works. To like put in an edge loop there and there, and get rid of the diagonal. I would just add loops. There's a way to do it, but I can't remember. Yeah, fair enough. I'll figure that out. Maybe I just try and set crease edge loop. If I just crease that, what happens there? Like automatically creases. Oh wait, I've got crease on edge loops. Not on. Let me try something. Just crease the edge, see what it does. Yeah, not exactly what I want. What if I just crease that? Nope. If you try inset the edge, it'll bevel it too. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Alright. Bevel. No, inset. Edge. So that insets either side. Just bevel it. Yeah, I'm looking at the options here. Huh. Not exactly what I was looking for. Might be handy though. That's closer to what I want. Just try every possible thing. Let's see, single row, linear edge, sharp edge. Hey, Fluffy. I'm just doing some hard surface modeling for this armor for the Catman. Trying all possible bevel options. And that looks so cool, but that's not what I want. Let's see, crease. So options like There's no options there. Bevel. Here's other inset options. Border only. Nope. That's not what I want. Center only. Nope. Insert region. Hmm. Maybe if I just insert, yeah, I'm just gonna try that. So just do insert edge. No. Insert single edge loop. Let's see. Oh yeah, that did it. That's what I wanted. Huh. There we go. Like around there. Yay! I try and make these consistent so that it's the same distance. And since they go all the way around, I only have to do it on these two, and then it's done for all of them. There we go. When are you going to update your Twitch channel description? You mean from nothing? That's a good point. Let's see. It's empty. There's nothing here. Where do I even edit the description anyway? There's the go live notification, title. Is it in my profile somewhere? Edit panels. Because it's not coming up for me. You have to do it on your Twitch page. Fair enough. Well, yeah, I'm on there. It's weird. There's no like description. There's just title. Let's see. Panel extensions. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but it's just like I can't. It just says it doesn't have an option to edit. It just says it's empty. There's like all these extensions you can add. Yeah, I'll figure that out. I'm sure I'll get it. It makes sense to actually have a description. All right. Oh, I see. And there's a plus button, and then that lets you add text and images. Yep. All right. I didn't see the plus thing. Yeah, it's like really wants me to put those extensions in. I'll do that. Don't worry, I'll do it maybe a little bit later. It's That's a good idea. People can know a bit more. Um, I'm gonna add this inset first, I think, because it's gonna be slightly harder to inset after I've done the other stuff. There's one more inset, and then there's stuff in the middle I'm gonna have to somehow do. I'm thinking of using nanomesh to do these little panels, or I could just paint them on. So I'll go back to polygroup. Alright, so that's inset. So what I want is inset polygroup border, inset region, and then that's actually going to be a bit thicker than the other one. Then I'll do the these edges. Looks about right. Maybe a little bit further that way. It's weird. Maybe I didn't make these consistent. Kind of wish I had a... There is an option, isn't... No, some of them seem to have like some snapping options, but... Oh, you can do that to like make them straight. I don't know if you'd want to, but you can. Just try and make them like the same distance on... Oops, on each side. Doing it by hand, like by eye. That's one of the nice things about Blender is you can just like put a number in. Yeah, I will use an animesh once I figure out how to use it. Yeah, that looks good. So now I've got this shape. It doesn't actually go, I mean, it doesn't go underneath the braces, but that's because it's not physically possible. So I don't feel too bad. It's like I just have to cheat a little bit and like rotate it and then maybe squish it a little bit. Or pull that up. And this is actually got to be a bit bigger as well, because it's like it's bigger than it looks. Alright, so that's that, sort of. Starting to get there. For those, yeah, that's perfect. Those panels using the nanomesh. What I'll do is I'll like duplicate part of the mesh, I suppose, and then that can be like, can be inset or something. Let's see. And then I could probably extrude that actually if I go to this. Oops, wrong one. Z modeler. And I want Q mesh extrude. Arrgh. Polygroup order. Wonder why it does that. Oh, because you've got inner and you've got border and you've got all. Like that's the whole poly group, that's why. Ew. Anyway. Yeah, how does nano mesh work? That's a good question. I should have probably watched the sirloin videos for that. Let's see, what does it say here? Multiple times across the surface, there are an abundance of settings to be applied to give great visual effects. Actually, I gotta go back to what the other person was saying. Yeah, in Ali Tasusa, they said what it is. It's actually layered iron steel splint armor. Alright, so I'm gonna have a look at what that actually is. I made a tutorial on nano mesh for simple mesh. Oh, cool. I will check that out. Oh yeah, the donut. You make your sprinkle. Insert torus. Okay. Like looking at this video. Oh, I see. Insert nano mesh. I'm trying to press play. Create insert mesh. Okay. Now the Z model brush selective. Hover over the polyface and click drag. All the sprinkles. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna try and find a reference for the layered iron armor apparently, just to see what it looks like. I know this is the same. It is kind of like a bunch of tiny little ruffles, from what I can tell. I know it's like, it's trying to find like a reference or something. Whatever it is. Look, that's like traditional Chinese armor. There's a lot of different kinds. Oh yeah. Yeah, I haven't found anything that's even remotely similar. Doggies are really bugging me now. They're just like, give me food. Yeah, I might do that. I should probably do it now. So what I can do now, at least, is separate out this this section. Let's see. Let's see. What do I want to do? Inflate, spin, transpose. Okay, I just want to select this area and then somehow separate it from the mesh. Then I also have to make that what do you call it? I have to make the little meshlet insert mesh thing, and then I have to combine it on that. So we just make the insert mesh, I suppose. Make a sprinkle. It's funny because these things almost look like the sprinkle. The way I'm thinking about it. So it'd probably just be like, let's see, append a like a cylinder or something. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I would ZBrush that things though, because nanomesh is based on polygon faces. If you don't have faces, you can't place the nanomesh. Oh, I see. So it has to be fairly high resolution. Oh, okay. this way each square will be a nest for each inset brush. So if you want as many squares as you need insets. So if there's a 6x2 panel on the glove, you only need 12 squares. Hmm. Or in this case, you can make rectangles since they're rectangular. Oh, fair enough. It's making this shape. It's just like it's kind of what I think it is. It's a bit shit, but it'll be pretty small, so I guess it doesn't really matter too much. It's like round from the front. Maybe even smooth this out a bit. Yeah, so it's a bit like the way it faces. Alright, so let's see. Alright, be back. Sorry about that, the fire keeps going out. Let's see, so hover over poly, nanomesh. Target a single poly. Let's see. So grab. Well, first of all, I still need to separate this out. Just like duplicate it, I guess, and then delete what I don't need. Is there a way to select individual faces? So I'm just thinking it'd be easier if I could just select the faces I want and get rid of everything else. I mean, maybe I could just mask it or something. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh, mask. Duh. Yeah, that's what I want to do. And then maybe I can delete masks or something. Or maybe Control W. Like make that a thing, and then then I can mask that. Yep, that's what I want. Thank you very much. That's very helpful. It's like all these options. It's like a million of them. You just gotta like remember which one's which. Let's see. That's what I can do before I do this nanomesh stuff. Although, could I do the nanomesh? Oh, I see. And then I can create the insert brush and then use that. Yeah, I know, right? It's like it has so much state, which is generally considered bad for UI design. But anyway, whatever. Um, yeah, I was thinking that if I move edges like that, there's a move edge loop as well. Uh, slide. There we go. Yeah, I was thinking what you were saying before, and just test it with this, and yeah, like just adjust the topology to get the like edge loops to move in the right way. Looks like the nano mesh is like in the way, so I can't actually select the edge loop very easily to go behind. Yeah, all right, that's cool. That's kind of what I'm looking like. What I want to do. You can hide it. Oh, okay. Show placement or show prop fit fill const off on. Oh, good. Yep. What would I do without you? You're so knowledgeable. Let's see. All right, so I didn't quite finish the tutorial. Actually, let's just step away for a sec. I'll be back. Well, it seems like third time's a charm. Just after you finish your lunch. Alright, so the fire's still going. So that's always good. Select your sprinkles subtool. Alright. Go brush, create insert mesh. Alright. Let's just hide that for a sec. Go to my this thing. Create insert mesh. Do I append that? That's what it says. That's true, I can pass on knowledge. Alright, So I can probably hide that, go back to my thingies. So in this particular case, probably just like, because I was just going to use that directly. Oh, so adding this to the brushes, maybe I need to create what, a nanomesh brush? Oh, I see. There we go. So it's like muck around with these probably to get the there we go. And since I want, in this particular case, say like 2 rows, so I can get rid of these, one of these edge loops. Then slide the other one, change this length maybe, and the width. Maybe adjust some of these edge loops. Even some of these out. That's pretty cool. Now you can have fun and play with the buttons. Yay! Seems like it's working alright. So what I might do as well is unhide the that, so that when I get this working, oh, that's cool, because you can like adjust how bumpy it is as well. I think these are, maybe I'll like add an additional additional row, even them all out. So it's be like Z modeler, insert, insert, edge loop, it's edge loop. That's what I wanted. It's doing that. Center only. Insert. God damn it. Alright, so then I'll turn nanomesh back on. Then I can probably like adjust the width a bit. shorten the length a little bit. That's kind of cool. Yeah, so do that. Subtool, turn that on. It's not perfect, but I could probably adjust it a little bit. Then we turn on that. And even if I adjust it, like I can probably put Dynamesh on. Dynamic Dynamesh. Yeah, and then that's got to go like further in, but so overall it's not too bad. Yeah. Yeah, and they'll be able to do that same workflow for like all the bits and pieces for the whole armor, because there's a lot of this stuff. That's going to be interesting when I do all the other ones. There's so much stuff in this model. But I think I've like already gotten a little bit better at doing the hard surface stuff now. Thank you for that as well. The Cubemesh stuff is very useful. So by the looks of it, the armor is interesting because it looks like it's actually two pieces that are strapped together on the tops and the sides. So what you end up with is like it clips probably around the shoulder. It's like one of those vest style ones. Yeah, it's still nanomesh. Was the idea that you can turn it into a real mesh, like apply the effects of the nanomesh. I was gonna leave it like that for now until I get around to like completely fixing it up. Okay. Is there anything wrong with just leaving it as nanomesh until you're ready to to apply the effect? Oh, really? Ooh. I don't know, like yeah, but ZBrush. Well, I mean, it'll be really easy to redo it anyway because it's just a topology of the plane that I made. Good old headless cat body. And this whole pelvis area has got some really cool armor. It's so much stuff in there though. And it's just like, I think I can guess what it's supposed to be. It's it's gonna be a bit weird. Probably do the top of the legs, the waist fur. But the first thing I'll do is the chest armor. Oh, cool. You're on your break. Yeah. So while you're gone, just managed to do this thing called nanomesh, make up some of this armor stuff, whatever it is. So I'm trying to that like layered little, almost like packing styrofoam. Just make it look like it's made out of like it's actually made out of real geometry rather than just being what do you call it? Flat. Just like stick it in there a little bit. And I'll get these to like somehow work out. That's one of the things, like in drawings, you can just draw stuff that doesn't, like in paintings and drawings, you can draw things that don't physically make any sense. Like the way he's got this very tight, you know, wrist armlet thing, whatever you want to call it, bracer. And then he's got like a big chunk of extra armor that comes out from underneath. And it just sort of comes out, but it doesn't, there's no indication of how that actually works. Like, there's no room for it if there's like a even thickness. So either I'm missing something in the shadow and I should be making this thinner or thicker or bigger, but yeah. So I need to physically make that work, even though in the drawing it looks like it works fine, but it's not actually. And posing it's actually going to be slightly painful because it's going to, like, some solid parts will move independently, while the body moves, like twists and turns in certain ways. The outer hand guard doesn't move with the hand very much. Right, I see what you mean. So the hand's moving and the guard stays in the same place. Which makes it like, it's easier when it's a fist, I guess. Now I'm just like slightly procrastinating due to what I know is going to be the next big difficult part of the model. And I'll probably smooth out some of this a bit because he doesn't actually need all this like muscles. And that's gonna poke out a little bit out of the armor if I don't smooth it out. It's more attached to the vambrace, maybe with the fractional movement, single string in the palm. You seem to know a lot about armor. That's just what I need. Someone to give me some pointers about how armor works. So it's going to be interesting trying to do the whatever this is, this chess piece. It's like 2 pieces, and I could use a topology brush to do that. It's got to go like, I'll do it in 2 pieces, I think. History Channel before it became porn. Yeah, how's that? It's like vaguely tangentially historically related because it's like sometimes there's something on there that's historically related. Alright, I'll be back in a sec. I'm just gonna check on the fire again. Fire's still going, so that's always good. Reminds me of what do you call it? Space Jam. Steal the talent of the best basketball players in the world, so these midgets can play. Yeah, so this is gonna be interesting. It's like it goes like around here. I feel like I'm some kind of armor smith. It's down here. And the arm. Down here. Whoop. Oops. So I had to get it exactly straight. Not that it's like the most important thing ever, but oh no. Why you do this to me? No, 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 no. To do that. There we go. Can I show you what I gave up on? Sure. You don't draw with a mouse unless you want tendinitis or carpal tunnel. Yeah, I've seen some people do really good stuff with a mouse. There's like a little trick that you use. It's like draw with what do? You like draw little lines with line tools instead of actually drawing. Instead of actually drawing it with like freehand. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll figure it out. Might do the vertical lines first. Maybe I'll just do this and then... Why am I getting triangles? Why you do this? There's no point there. You're just like, no. No, don't do that. See, when I'm trying to like delete this line, it's like moving this like by 1 pixel. God damn it! Why is it doing this? Maybe if I just click on this. Something like this. you know, of course it has to muck up like one of the triangles. It's like, why you do this to me? So you're like, why, what's that? Why is that? It's because you need to draw past your lines. Yeah, I thought it was, but I obviously mucked some of them up. That one's just gonna have to, I'm just gonna have to fix that somehow. Let's see. Armor. And then just be like, bam. It's like, whatever. Let's see, separate, split, mask. Turn that off. Yeah, yeah, I saw that happening and I was like, I'm ruining it. Oh, that worked out okay. I'm sure I can fix this. There's got to be something in the old Z modeler for this. Bridge, maybe? 2 points. Click first point, click second point. Ah! You don't insert nanomesh. What? What? Yeah, that's not working. Bridge, maybe? I can probably split this somehow. Hey, hey. Maybe like... Uh-huh. Brr, 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 brr. And then delete the edge. I want to delete the edge. Delete. No point action. Wait, why is that a point? Oh, whatever. And delete the edge. What? Ah! It's weird. Delete edge loop. No, no, I didn't want to delete a whole edge loop. Just delete just an edge. There we go. Then I can clear these creases and then crease these things. half the stuff my Imgur doesn't load on iPhone. That sounds annoying. Yeah, so I'm going to do this in two separate parts. So the front part and the back part. I do want to dynamesh that. What am I doing? It's dynamic. That worked reasonably well. And then when I get around to thickening the mesh after I've shaped it properly, it's actually shaped pretty close to what I wanted already, which is nice. Then I'll fix so that it's nice and sharp around the edges. Also want to put a hole in it. I actually think it attaches near the front. So it's like, it's like, that's funny. I guess Smoothie doesn't work on as much on single polygons. But yeah, it'll have like a little attaching area, and I can probably put a hole in here somehow using some kind of dark mystic technique. Or I could just be super lazy and make it high poly dynamesh and then use live boolean. I don't think that's a good idea though. Yeah, well, I'm gonna take a break for lunch soon because I haven't eaten anything today at all. So I do intermittent fasting. So I don't eat for 18 hours and then I eat for 6 hours. I don't eat like for 6 hours continuously. I just have a window of 6 hours where I can eat. So 18 hours of no eating and then 6 hours of eating aloud. No, it's not keto. I still eat regular like carbs and stuff. But I don't. I just don't eat at certain times of the day. That's it. That's the whole diet. I should probably still eat better though. Yeah, I think this will work. I need to bring this out a bit. Yeah, keto's come under fire a little bit lately because some people are taking it far too seriously in terms of carb restrictions, and it doesn't always help. Everyone's different though. Some people try something and it works, some people don't. I'm not really even really doing this for weight loss. It's more of a health thing. I've never had a problem with weight. I'm just one of those evil people who can't gain weight no matter what I eat, which everyone hates. So, like, they don't hate the not gaining weight thing. They just hate me. Lucky me. It's just fasting for a short period of time. Yeah. A lot of people don't. Yes, you can't. Apparently, 22 hours or something is supposed to be like where you get the most benefits, but I can't do that. It's just like that's crazy. Don't like the 22-hour one. Yeah, so probably have to perhaps add more geometry to this before I thicken it, so that I can get like if you look in the original concept art, there's some muscles here. There's also a bunch of little I don't know what you want to call them, bumps. And then it's got rims, like shiny metal rims, which I should be able to achieve somehow. Oops. Inflate that a little bit. So I'll probably like start moving the geometry around so that it's going to have the rib cage is like the most prominent part of this, the form of this chest piece. So I probably want to like add some additional stuff around there so that it gets like a nice look to it. Yeah, and then that'll probably look good, I guess. Yeah, it goes around the arms as well, so he'd definitely need it given how chunky these arms are. It would be a very bad idea to put shoulder armor on, because he would just not be able to do anything. His arms would just be stuck. And I'm pretty sure the armor goes like fairly far down. Not sure exactly how far, but near the waist. So he'd not be bending over at all. That would not be an option. It'd just be like, you know, I like bending over, but I can't. I feel like even though the rope goes all the way around, I think maybe his shoulders should, maybe this should connect at the middle. Because the sides do, and so it should be consistent. So the hole for the rope is around the clavicle, and then it just sort of straps over the top, and the two pieces of armor meet in the middle. Which probably means I should like add some more here. So, you know, insert. I keep clicking insert by accident, which is so annoying. Yeah, so now I can add a bit more detail to the shape without stretching it too much. Yeah, that's looking pretty good actually. So that's given the form. Probably make it like come around a bit more on this side. Yeah, there we go. And then maybe, so I feel like to get the actual shape that I want, I probably should adjust the edge loop, because, I mean, I don't have to. Just put some there, because if the edge loop went around so that he had abs, then that would actually create a better form. But ZBrush is so weird. And I'd have to like change it around the side here so that when like this goes up, and then like there's another one that goes down this way, and there's a pole in the middle. I could just be really lazy and just like just don't worry about it. Just put one here. Be like, look how nice that looks. Oh, it's so good. But I do like that, how it looks. It's probably a way to do it. If I put an edge there, maybe. Let's see. Maybe there's a extrude, equalize, inflate. Oop, don't want to do that. Do 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 do. what I want to do is put triangle there for now. So go, maybe go like insert multiple edge loops, bevel, close. Well, oh, what happened there? Let's see, crease, do nothing, make curve, mask, bridge. Yeah, there we go. And then I can insert an edge loop there. But maybe that's not what I wanted. Maybe instead I could bridge this way. Insert an edge loop like that. So I'm going to put one in here, but I don't actually want to like go all the way. I just want to actually, so if possible, let's bridge like that. No, that's not what I want. Kind of just want to go like, nope, that's not it either. Maybe I can insert single edge loop. No. So just want, maybe that's not the way. If I just add an edge loop with it, like without creating another one there. Close, bevel, bevel it. No, that's not it. Slide scale split. That's interesting. You collapse edges, and that might help. Not really. Boop. Oh, well that kind of worked. It split it in half. And then that could go... Just move it a little bit. So now that goes that way. And then I could split those, but then I'd still end up with a bunch of extra polygons. Maybe I did it the wrong way. I'm gonna leave that for a little bit till I figure out what I want to do. For now, that's not too bad. I can work with that. I can do one on the back, and then I can do... I might even just like duplicate this, and then flip it around, and just fit it to the back, so it's like it's the opposite, like the same geometry, but on the back. So I can like duplicate it, and then like maybe like rotate it 180 degrees. Or I can mirror it, I guess. I could use deformation, like mirror it on the, not the Y, on the Z. Then just like move it around a little bit. And that way, I don't have to do like the exact same thing again. Just smooth it out a bit, because the back's a lot smoother. Yeah, that works out. That works reasonably well. And then just like move some of the points around, and these will line up. Yeah, that works. The back doesn't, I don't think, needs any particular special detailing, except maybe like the shoulder blades could pop out a little bit, but that's probably about it. And then yeah, they got like this going. Dynamic that, yeah. So it needs to go up around the shoulders. Just be like, and then I'll add extra edge loops and stuff to do the some stuff there as well. But I definitely need to fudge around with the chest piece more to get like what I want. Oh yeah, he's got some this bit of a butt going on, so just pull that out. And that can go down like that. And I'll probably go up a bit, it doesn't really matter too much. It'll still be fairly form-fitting. For one, I can use transparency and kind of see. Yeah, so you can see here that this thing is like enormously bigger than his actual back, so I can just pull it in so that it's a bit more close to what it should be. And then if we look at that with dynamic, and then just move it a little bit. So yeah, now we've got like the front and the back of the armor. Not bad. There's still a lot of detailing required, and I need to fix those edge loops on the front. But overall, it looks alright. I could cheat. I mean, it's not really cheating, but I could just... I'm not sure if I can just ZBrush it. I could ZBrush, like I could paint in some polygroups and ZBrush it. The only problem is that I'd lose the simplicity of the mesh, probably. Unless I went for a really low amount. So this is like not many polygons. And I've still got to do this fuzzy belt thing, as well as this like giant belt buckle made out of what looks like solid steel. It's like crotch is like got the ultimate protection there. And there's these little bronze looking badges, like buckle things. I'm not sure what they are. And then he's also just got some random leather straps, probably part of what holds the leather, like holds it together. So all the little buttons on the front, whatever they are, I could probably use the nano mesh for those because they look fairly straightforward. And to paint on like the Chanel logo, I can probably use Spotlight and just transfer it on. Just grab a Chanel image from somewhere and paint it on once I get like a high res topology going on. What else? There's probably more, but I can't think of it at the moment. But yeah, it's getting there. I think I'm probably gonna end the stream pretty soon because I am getting hungry and I got some chores. I got some things I gotta do. Gotta go to shops. Get some. I could do the weekly shopping, that kind of stuff. Alright. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out so far. I'm going to put the head on to see how it kind of looks. Just everything together. So I can already see that I'm going to have to adjust the armor to go higher up the neckline. Or I can make the neck of the tiger go into that crease. Yeah, it should, like I need to make sure that you can't actually see the giant like gap between the head and the neck. So that's going to have to live in the armor. Otherwise it's not going to look good. But I think it's alright, like the head still needs more details. I need to do those, like the side things more. And I need to make him look more evil, I guess. And then paint him. But yeah, like for such a complex sculpt, I think it's going okay so far. Probably move that up a bit. Yeah. And there's the whole bottom half is just like, holy crap, that's so complicated. And I'm not even sure what these metal boot things are supposed to look like, because I can't see them from behind, so I'm going to have to make some stuff up. And I had a lot of trouble with shoes last time I tried them, so I'm going to have to try and figure that out too. But, I mean, overall, it's not too bad. I think the proportions might be off a little bit. I think his head's like slightly too, maybe a little bit too big. Like, a taper is maybe squish his head a bit and taper it a bit at the top more, because it doesn't quite fit the shape. It doesn't have to though. It's like what Corner was saying. It's about making it like it's about delivering the appeal of the model, not necessarily following the concept art like a 1,000,000%. But he definitely has some difference in the head shape, and I can probably get that going. And that got his weapon as well, which I got to do, which I haven't really even looked at yet, but that looks cool. Like the weapon, that'll be awesome posing that in there. Yeah, and the muscles as well. I think can probably do with a little bit of extra work. But he's getting there. I'm saying I'm not halfway done, but maybe 30% done, because of just how much extra detailing and armor and shit I gotta do. I'll save this, and I think that's it for today. I gotta get something to eat. I gotta go out. But thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for all the advice, Corner. You've really been helpful. Thanks for coming, Fluffy and Inali Susasi, if that's how you say it, and anyone else who's watching. And I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow or not. I might. And if I am, I'll just keep working on this. Yeah, anyway. I'll see you later, guys. I'll also make sure to do my description.